Right, so I'm gonna do one with you that's pretty tough. Hopefully you'll get that. We will get it all working here in a second. Just a second. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I think it's like the sixth problem on your homework. It is x to the fourth minus 4x squared plus 2 equals 0. Okay. So we're just going to do something crazy here, and we're just going to make up something. Let's go with x squared is equal to r. Okay. Let's make x squared equal r and rewrite this. R squared, right? So that would be x squared, which would be x to the fourth, minus 4r plus 2. Now we can factor this, or we could solve it for 0, find our zeros. And we're going to do that by completing the square. So that will be r squared minus 4r plus, well, half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4 minus 4 plus 2. We're just going to look at these first three terms. And now we can do that. That's going to be r minus 2, r minus 2, minus 2. So this would be r minus 2 squared minus 2. Now remember, we said that r is equal to x squared. So let's put that back in there. Definitely can't forget that. Whoops, definitely don't need to write that incorrectly where that's equal to 2, it's minus 2. All right, so let's move over here and see if we can't solve this. X squared minus 2 squared minus 2. We'll set that equal to 0. So we're going to have x squared minus 2 squared equal to 2. So we'll move it to both sides. That's square root. Get rid of this square. The x squared minus 2 is equal to the square root of 2. We can't square root, well, we can square root 2, but we're not going to. So let's go ahead and move the plus or the minus 2 over to make it 2 plus or minus the square root of 2. Let's square root this x and square root this. And you're left with x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 2. Now, there's 4 answers right here, and we know that because the 4 or the x was to the 4. We have a positive square root of 2 plus the square root of 2. We have a positive square root of 2 minus the square root of 2. And we have a negative square root of 2 plus the square root of 2. And then we have a negative square root of 2 minus the square root of all that. Those are your 4 answers for that problem. Okay. I'm going to go to this next page here and do another problem. Since we're going to be using the difference of 2 squares, or not difference of 2 squares. Oh, I can't think today. Quadratic formula. Opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, when we do that, you're going to have 2 answers to deal with. Okay. Let's go with, let me see if I can find a hard one for us to do. There's only 3 of those. So let's go with, we'll go with the last one. Normally that one's the harder one. So let's look at it. 3x squared minus 13x So definitely let's look at this first one here. Opposite of b would be 13 plus or minus the square root. 13 squared is 169 minus 4 times 3 times 14. Wow, okay. I'm gonna have to probably get my calculadora out for this. Be 24, should be 148. Let's see here, 4 times 3 times 14, 168. What did I say? 148, 168. And that works out great. We love that. Okay, so let's do it. I forgot my denominator here. All right, so let's just move it all over here. That's going to be 13 plus or minus the square root of 169 minus 168 over 6. Well, 13 plus or minus square root of 1 over 6. So that's 13 plus 1 over 6 and 13 minus 1 over 6, which would be 14 over 6 and 12 over 6, which is 2. 14 over 6 would be 7 over 3. So there's 2 of the answers right there. 7 over 3 and 2. Okay. Now we're going to take this one and do it on the next page, okay? We're going to do this other factor on the other page. Let's go with x squared. I'm just going to rewrite it up here so I don't forget it. Okay. Now, opposite of b, maybe you just need to write this down so you don't forget it. All over 2a. Okay. So opposite of b would just be a positive 4 plus or minus square root of b squared is 16 minus 4. It's just going to be 4, right? Because 4 times 1 is 4 times 4 is 4. So we're just going to leave it like that. And 2a, well, 2 times 1 is 2. So it's all over 2. Okay. So we have 4 plus or minus the square root of 12 over 2. Now, what you can do right here, let's see here. Why don't we, what's going to be the easiest thing to do? I think the easiest thing is going to be, we can break this 12 right here apart and call it 4 plus or minus, this would be 4 times 3. So that'd be 2 square roots of 3 all over 2. Well, 2 over, and you have to break this, you have to put each term over it. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too loud for y'all. So we would have 4 over 2 plus 2 square roots of 3 over 2. Well, that's going to be 2 plus the square root of 3. And it would also be 2 minus the square root of 3. There you go. And then I think the rest of them, so all of 3 is factorable. That will leave you with set 4 equal to each other. And you maybe you can work those out. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to do one that you've got a bunch of factoring, easy factoring ones there. And so I'm going to go to, this has number 4, but I don't know what it is for y'all. So let's do x minus 2 times x minus 1 is equal to x minus 2 times x plus 1. Okay, so one thing we need to do is get them all on one side. So let's just move this to this side. X minus 2, x minus 1, minus x minus 2, x plus 1. Yeah, so we move that all to that side. Now, this is what got some of you on the quiz. We've got an x minus 2 factor that's in both of them. So let's factor that out, move that to the front, and we're left with x minus 1 minus x plus 1. Okay. Now let's just do that. X minus 1 minus x minus 1. And the x will cancel. And that leaves you with x minus 2 times negative 2. So what we have here, think about it. Let's just think about it. If we can get this factor to be 0, the whole thing will be 0. So let's just set that equal to 0. X is equal to 2. So x is 2. Or if you actually did that and done distributive property, you got negative 2 times negative 2x plus 4 and set that equal to 0, you'd have negative 2x is equal to a negative 4 divided by negative 2 divided by negative 2, x equals 2. So either way you did it, you would have got 2. Okay. So that should get you through the next section there. And don't worry about number 5 or the very last part where it says consider the expression x to the 4th plus 1 since x squared plus 1 does not factor with real number coefficients. Don't worry about that. Okay. So that should help you out with your homework and should get you done with it much quicker.